I think our band started out in 2005. And at that time we were very inspired by Dark Tranquillity, In Flames, Opeth. And so those bands actually remain, that sound remains an inspiration for us. I'd say they've broadened a little bit, slightly more progressive, Gojira. It's changed a little bit, but I think that the core of melodic death metal, big twin guitar melodies has remained. So it's been a subtle change, I think, not a big change. We like to write stories. When we write lyrics, we don't want to talk about the world like the current political issues or religion or anything that's sort of present day channel. We're mostly interested in telling stories that are moving and interesting to people, and will probably always be interesting stories. So there's a case of what sorts of stories should we tell? And for us, it's nature, science, mythology, folklore, human struggle, things that are always part of human life. So survival and regret and those sorts of things. I think you can weave those into stories and make a very enjoyable sort of tale. So I think that's the way we like to work, and don't think that'll change. It's something we really like. It's usually myself and George, so two of us. They're the guys they're probably a little bit more involved with the music, the melody writing, and then obviously the story, we put the lyrics on at the end. So the story part comes later, and then George and I work together, and it changes. Sometimes we both talked a lot about a certain topic and we are interested in that topic at that time. And other times it might be a mixture of ideas, from each of us, and there's no real connection. But yeah, we enjoy working together. If I had to pick, it would be Opeth. And if not Opeth, then probably the very early albums from In Flames. Because I think, again, the melody, two guitars, harmonized guitars. And if not, those two bands, I'd say the top two that we listen to the most, still kind of referred to on occasion, they'd be the top ones. Our fans already know this, but we are a little bit slow to make an album. It takes us a long time. Well, the first album took, the gaps are getting longer. So there was a 2-year gap and a 3-year gap and a 4-year gap, and the last one was a 5-year gap. So it's a bit too long, but I think we're all very busy, and the guys have families and we have jobs, and it's getting a bit harder to be quick. The process is we basically write riffs, melodies, as separate ideas, and we collect them into a single place, and we listen to them and we talk about them, and the ones that we all agree have been sticking in our head, reuse them, then we come together and start connecting into ideas that become a song. But it's very slow and steady. Sometimes we reject, we come back and change again the structure. So it does take quite a while. But I would say we spend 95% of our time on the music, and then once the songs are finished, then we put the lyrics on top. The band Queen, George and I really like the over-the-top melody that they use. Songs like Bohemian Rhapsody, very long, unusual structure. It's not verse, chorus, it's a triad of different pieces of music. So Queen's a band we've always admired. For me, it's also, Celtic music and the Giants, electronic, melodic music. There's a wide range. I think Adderall's as lead, it's just a band that we've started to like, or especially myself and Elliot in the band. We really enjoy their approach to kind of more complex melodies and structures. So yeah, there's things that are outside of what death metal definitely has used. Australia has influenced the music we're making, but I do think it's influenced our ability to tour. We've relied heavily on, when we started, it was MySpace and YouTube and Spotify. The internet is really why we've been able to grow, because we've only done, in 15 years, we've only been overseas 4 times, and only for short periods. So being in Australia makes it very expensive, very hard to get to Europe or to America or to Mexico or wherever it might be. And that's the biggest challenge, I think, for an Australian band, is how you can do that. But yeah, musically, I would say that the scene in Australia is extremely wide, broad. Every some category of metal is well covered and done. I don't think there's an Australian sound. There's just lots of different sounds, I think, in Australia. I don't expect it to be a massive change. Like, we would never sort of suddenly veer to a different, sound completely. So I think it'll be just exploring and growing in small ways, and that the themes will come a bit later. Yeah. Our approach to the band is that we can do it, I don't want to say hobby. It's a small business and a hobby. And so we can do it in a way that we don't get exhausted from it, and we don't have to quit the band. I think some bands reach a point where they say we have to choose the band or our family, we have to choose band or work. For us, we're able to do all of those things, and that means we should be able to keep doing Belcourt. I hope for another 10 years, I'm hope, and make more albums into it. Hey, this is Steve from Belcourt, all the way from Australia. I'm here at Wacken, having a nice chat, and that's what to say a big hello to all the fans there in Mexico and Latin America. And so thank you so much for the opportunity.